Alright, so Incredibles 2 is about to drop this week, and I'm really looking forward to it. Because I love the themes they covered in the original, like family, and friendship, and child murder, and staying true to yourself, domestic abuse, infidelity, sex, child abandonment, murder. This is a really dark movie. Y'all might have heard this movie was dark from your little tweets and your little theory videos, but this isn't even the half of it. So I'm gonna give you a retelling of the story, start to finish, and show you how dark this is gonna get. And it's gonna get f***ed. Alright, just to set the mood. At the beginning of the movie, the supers are giving these interview things, and Mr. Incredible has a mental breakdown on set during his.
For 10 minutes.
You get to that point. Wait, don't get up there.
And this is kind of like a good metaphor for how the rest of the film's gonna go, so I just wanted to lead with that. After that, we cut to real life where Mr. Incredible is doing his hero thing and slams a whole ass tree in front of a car of armed robbers. Also, they're armed robbers. This is the only Pixar movie where there are guns in it, like actual ass guns. Like the NRA was probably really feeling this flick back in 2004. And they're driving through the city, like shooting at cops. And again, it drops a whole ass tree on them. Yikes. And they end up getting up, but let's be real, they should be dead. Go ahead and add a death to the death counter. Oh yeah, also there's a death counter because a lot of people die in this movie. But not too long after committing his 2 murders, Mr. Incredible runs into Elastigirl on a rooftop where she tells him one of the most provocative lines in the movie.
I think you need to be more flexible.
Yo! Is she trying to f***? After getting blue-balled, Mr. Incredible catches sight of a man that... They really did that. He catches sight of a man trying to commit suicide on top of a building. Suicide! Keep in mind, this movie's main demographic were like people who drank juice from a box. Like, what is up, Pixar? Mr. Incredible saves him and runs into a villain trying to rob a bank. He stops him, and then his 10-year-old fanboy wannabe sidekick, Buddy, pops in. Mr. Incredible shoos him off because he's like 10, so he starts to fly off, and the bomb villain guy attaches a bomb to the kid. He put a bomb on a child, on a person who still has to ask permission to go to the bathroom. He put a bomb on him. Mr. Incredible ends up saving him, but accidentally blows up like a whole bridge and stops the train so everyone doesn't fall to their death. And then everything turned out all right. Psych, this is Pixar. It's not a plot of some dark, twisted shit. It doesn't happen. Cut to a little bit later. Turns out the dude who was committing suicide is suing Mr. Incredible for foiling his suicide attempt and proceeds to say the most horrifying line I've probably ever heard in a kid's film.
Saved your life.
You didn't save my life, you ruined my dead. That's what you did. Save my life, you ruined my dead. That's what you did.
Holy shit. The film then introduces its audience to the fun, kid-friendly concept of government cover-ups by sweeping everything the supers have ever done under the rug and hiding and retiring all the heroes so they don't have to pay out the hundreds of thousands of people who probably deserve reparations. So let's fast forward 15 years. Mr. Incredible has acquired a wife, 3 kids, a deep-seated depression typical of the working class, which 15 minutes into this movie is like feeling par for the course. So Bob is unfulfilled at work, at home, the family is incredibly dysfunctional. He's even lying to his wife. Instead of going out to bowl, he's moonlighting hero work. And on one occasion, Frozone freezes a man to death. Go ahead, add it. Back at work, Bob is getting chewed out by his boss for actually helping people, and Bob straight up grips this man by the throat and slams him in through like 4 walls. Go ahead, add it. They showed him in a hospital room, but nah, G. He flew at a speed that broke through 4 walls. He's dead. And then in some twist of irony, Bob then finds a message about a possible job in his briefcase for hero work. He then lies to his wife about it, goes to a remote island, and finds a giant learning robot. He then completes the job and is thanked at a dinner by Mirage, who is a step-in for his real employer. In a scene that once again shows Pixar is not above using sexual tension in their children's films.
I prefer to think of it as misunderstood.
Yo! Is she trying to f***? So Mr. Incredible comes back home and gets in shape, buys a new whip. Young boy is looking great. He then continues to go behind his wife's back and gets his suit repaired by Edna Mode, who then insists he gets a new one, and one with no capes, as there have been a number of super deaths because of them. Like Thunderhead, the man was launched into space by a rocket, dead. Stratigale, a 16-year-old girl, if you looked up the information, chewed up in a jet engine. And you know, naturally, everyone else on that plane probably died too, because like a whole ass person just went through the jet engine. There was like 6 more, but I think y'all get the gist. So Mr. Incredible cops the new suit, and his wife gets the idea that he might be cheating as Mr. Incredible gets a call for a new job. But even if he was about to, Bob doesn't even get the chance, because guess what? It's time for the surprisingly dark plot twist to kick in. Turns out, Buddy, who is most likely one of the biggest sociopaths in children's movie history, was his employer. Oh, geez, Rick. And peep this. He explained that he turned out this way because Mr. Incredible wouldn't let him work with him. This kid harbored a grudge for 15 years that drove him to kill dozens of superheroes and sell weapons to governments, all for this one moment. Like, bro, you gotta learn how to take note. Like, where are your parents? After a quick brawl, Mr. Incredible jumps into a waterfall and almost gets blown up by a bomb. This is a kid's movie. He then hides for his life in a cavern where he finds a rotting corpse of one of his superhero peers he once knew. This is a kid's movie. And when a probe comes down to find him, he has to hide behind said corpse so he can fight to live another day. This is a movie for children. All right, so Mr. Incredible then begins a mission to infiltrate the compound and kill every single person he comes across. So he throws a dude in the ocean. He's no way to get out, dead. Young boy then tosses at least a 300-pound metal pod at 2 other people. They're definitely deceased. And this man bolts a dude in the head with a rock. He goes limp immediately. Go ahead, add it. So Mr. Incredible sneaks into the compound and finds the database of the tens of superheroes that were murdered by Syndrome that he keeps cataloged. Helen, thinking he's cheating on her with another woman, sets off a homing device in his suit so she can track where he went. This then alerts the security system, and he gets captured in one of the most... I don't know how to feel about this thing. I feel confused and slightly aroused, and is proceeded to be tortured via electrical shock, like hanging like Jesus style in a machine, crucified. So then Helen, aka Elastigirl, then goes to save him and or whoop his ass because of, you know, the whole thing. Her kids sneak on board and Syndrome decides he's gonna murder him and shoots a land-based missile at the plane. Not even calling it off, knowing there are children on board the plane. All because Mr. Incredible basically told a 10-year-old Syndrome, hey, you probably shouldn't be trying to fight crime in a cutoff shirt. After a giant panic, the plane is hit and is blown up, and they all go flying thousands of feet into the ocean. And yo, them getting blown up and screaming is like the most blood-curdling I have heard in a really long time. It's a kid's movie, yo. Mirage confirms Syndrome murked his family, and Mr. Incredible, while still in his restraints, swoops up Mirage and threatens.
It'll be easy, like breaking a toothpick.
Jesus, dude. Syndrome chances it, knowing it was a bluff, and proceeds to call him weak for not killing her, for not choking the life out of this woman right here. After letting her go, Mr. Incredible weeps. Like, he weeps while electrically chained up in the crucifixion position. What? God, yo, what is that? But everything's cool because back in the middle of the ocean, Helen is screaming at her understandably frightened children and manages to get everyone to the island where Mr. Incredible is taken hostage. So it's fine. But back on the island, Mirage starts to feel empathy for the man who literally almost killed her and proceeds to release him, and immediately regrets it because she forgot this is the dude who just tried to kill her, and starts choking the shit out of her like an alcoholic husband. Boy, he had the death grip on her. I should be laughing. I'll get in trouble for laughing at this. And she explains through her choking breath that his family is still alive, and then they embrace, because that's what you do with people who tried to murder you about 10 minutes ago. And lo and behold, Elastigirl walks in right on cue. Hello. And then knocks her the f out. Then we cut back to the kids after they fled the tunnel because that blew up. And turns out grown men are trying to kill children, which has become a theme in this movie. And I just want to say, this whole fight sequence that's happening here is super dark. Like, look. Yo, are those blades? That dude just punched a kid. Holy shit. Oh, he's dead. Watch out. Oh my God. Chill. Oh, that shit just cracked. He's done. They really trying to kill a 10-year-old. Oof, he's dead. Yikes. And yeah. No, he's trying to kill a teenage girl. He just punched the shit out of that. Here it comes. Count it. Eventually, the group meets all back up and have this big bonding moment over a giant crashing explosion where someone definitely died in. We're gonna add that to the list. Syndrome then arrives, stops the four, and drops quite possibly another one of the most provocative lines in the entire movie.
And got busy!
Yo! Then proceeds to put the whole family up for crucifixion and enacts his plan where he saves the city from his own robot. Yeah. So after a powerful speech about family or something, Violet escapes and frees everyone. And they proceed to beat up like some sociopaths in an RV who were playing a drinking game that...
Every time they run, you take a shot.
Like, yo, people are dying. How do you feel this? How do you... So back in the city, Syndrome gets pimp slapped by his robot and gets knocked out. So the fam hitchhikes a ride on a rocket and heads to the city and takes out the robot, eventually saving the day and learning a lesson about family and depending on whatever, as well as busting millions of dollars on property damages that taxpayers will have to pay for years. The family heads home thinking that the day is saved until they run into Syndrome, who's just chilling at their crib for real. And he straight up kidnaps their baby with the intention to raise him as his own. Whose man's is this? Why are you stealing this? So to stop him, they throw Elastigirl up to catch their son. Syndrome vows to steal him back. So in response, Mr. Incredible hurls like a fucking car at him and destroys a plane. Syndrome falls out of the plane and then all of a sudden gets caught in the turbine. The man is chewed up in the engine of the plane, or the turbine, whatever you call that. He's dead. There proceeds to be a giant explosion over their house full of debris and body parts. But nah, it's cool, it's fine. We're a big happy family though. That's the gist of the film. All in all, I rest my case. This was Pixar's most adult film, and I really hope that the new Incredibles take some inspiration from it, because apparently I'm really into dark, depressing crap that is targeted at kids.
Oh, what's up, y'all? So if you like that video, please in the comment section let me know if you thought I was on track with my theory that it's really dark, and if you guys are excited to see Incredibles 2, and if you like more videos like that, because I'm just trying stuff that's new, you know what I'm saying? That's really about it. I don't really have much else to say. And if you're new here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That really helps me out, helps the channel out. All right, so thanks for watching. Peace.